Thank you, Vincent Laforet, for making it to the show remotely via Skype. We really appreciate you joining us. What city are you in right now?
I'm in San Jose, California.
And what are you doing in San Jose?
Getting my 1 day of rest in the past 2 weeks, and excited about it. Going to see some friends, and preparing for the Directing Motion tour in San Jose and in San Francisco and Sacramento.
All right, so you're on your San Jose, San Francisco, Sacramento stop of the Directing Motion tour. Tell me a little bit about what the tour has to offer cinematographers.
Sure. Basically, as you know, about 6 years ago, 6 years ago, I shot with the 5D Mark II, and I've been teaching for about 15 years. I wanted to kind of go to the next level at this point and talk more than just the picture styles and technical aspects of cameras, and really talk about what I do now as a director on commercials and shorts. I'm working on several features as well. The idea is, what does a director do? How do you move the camera? How, when, and why do you move the camera? And I broke my arm about 5 months ago. It was pretty bad, and I had 2 months to sit on a couch, and I ordered my 100 favorite DVDs, and I dissected them religiously, and looking at how motion was used by Coppola, Scorsese, Spielberg, Terry Gilliam, Jean Genet, you name it. And I've brought that together into over 100 examples where I share with people what these directors are doing, what I do as a director myself, in terms of how that relates to camera movement and sequencing, and also obviously moving action in front of the camera to make for a very dynamic motion.
That sounds awesome. Verge, do we have a graphic that you can show about where viewers can get involved with the Directing Motion tour? Can you pull that up for us? Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Vincent, most of my viewers, we're broadcast all over the universe. We're watched in 200 countries, but the majority of my viewers happen to be in Florida. When are you coming to Florida? When can we see your show here?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. Let's see. I have 32 dates to think about.
July
1st. Well, there you go. I'll be there July 1st.
All right.
I'm pretty excited. It's a one Florida stop. I wish there were more, but 10 weeks on the road is already a lot. So we're kind of going through and making that our big stop, and that's when they can expect me. It's a pretty exciting day. It's 11-hour day with 2 hours of breaks, and we do live shoots there. We do about, let's say, 3 hours of theory during the day and 3 hours of shooting. We do 2 scenes from Schindler's List with Fisher Dolly, both a movie master / one-shot wonder, as well as standard coverage. And then we go into a 2-camera setup where we shoot with 2 handheld cameras, as well as a Movi and a Steadicam, an entire cop sequence. Very much in this way that episodic television is shot today. In that I've been on the sets of Southland and of Shameless, kind of picked up from the best directors out there. For when it's my turn to do that, hopefully, and then obviously also to try and share that with others to see, how they do it in Hollywood, if you will.
So you mentioned the Fisher Dolly, you mentioned the Movi. I wonder, did you see our episode last month on the Cineped rotational slider?
I did not. Unfortunately, I've been buried in this for about 3 months. So.
Okay, all right, that's all right. Well, yeah. we'll send you a link so you can watch it later. Something else you mentioned earlier in our interview was that about 6 years ago you started shooting the 5D Mark II. Now, certain websites credit you with putting together the first proper short film shot on DSLR. Is that accurate?
I don't know if the proper short film's accurate, but I definitely ended up being the first person to shoot with the 5D Mark II pretty much in history, which kind of launched my career into motion. I'd always wanted to go into it. I've been on film since I was a kid. My father was a set photographer. I was on Bertolucci sets when I was a kid, and Richard Donner and stuff like that. So I always knew I wanted to go into film, but I chose photography in college, and this seemed to be the perfect transition. And I've had a fantastic ride shooting a variety of commercials and shorts. This year I shot a Nike commercial with Kobe Bryant and Richard Sherman and Mo Farah, Allison Felix, a bunch of great athletes. And
so that Nike commercial was the Flyknit campaign, right?
Correct, yes.
Verge, do we have a picture of the Richard Sherman Flyknit clip? Viewers at home can actually see this on Vincent Laforet's Vimeo link. So you had an opportunity to work with these guys, and I've got a question for you. Is Richard Sherman the best cornerback in the NFL?
Well, I won't get into football, but I can say he's one of the best people you can meet. He's fantastic. He's a wonderful personality, very upbeat, sharp as a tack, and just super positive. It was really just a pleasure to work with. He was totally into it. We were flying techno cranes around his head as fast as you can, shooting at 500 frames a second. He kept coming to the monitors, and he would see how his body moved. He just loved it because you can really pick out things the human eye cannot see. We had an absolute blast shooting with him. And this was just before this big controversy, the Giants, just before the playoffs, about 2 or 3 weeks before he exploded to being the name he is now.
Cool.
And very fortuitous timing.
Awesome. So another video that, this isn't one that you've done, but you've referred to it. Verge, we've got a photo of this, is this Bentley commercial that shows their sort of directors of design.
Yes.
This sort of brings up a paradox, because on the one hand, we're celebrating that you can create great films with something as simple as an iPhone. So this Bentley campaign was shot on the iPhone 5S. But on the other hand, all of the motion, all of the beauty of the commercial, it sort of owes itself to that, the Movi, the Model 5 version of the Movi. So my question for you is, can you speak to the paradox of, we can make films, we can tell stories with low-tech stuff such as the iPhone, while on the other hand, we really need techno cranes and Movies and Fisher dollies and this kind of thing to create the motion to really tell the story?
I'm not sure it's a paradox at all. I think the reality is no one cares how you make the sausage as long as it tastes good. And I don't care what you shoot with as long as what I'm seeing on screen is interesting. And whether it's shot with an iPhone or a $250,000 camera, you can shoot something really boring or something fascinating. And we care about in the film business how it was done. Was it a Movi? Was it a Technocrane? Was it handheld? Was it done on a $20 slider on a wheelchair? But the reality is, we have the right to be focused on that. But most of our viewers are simply trying to consume different information, whether it's stills or video, and they just want to say, is the story well told? Is it a good story? And that's what this workshop focuses on, is the craft. If you're focusing on resolutions and frame rates, you're not going to get anywhere. Whereas if you focus on why you move the camera, when you move the camera, and to what purpose, you're going to be doing some good stuff that people are going to be talking about. And that's kind of what this workshop focuses on.
Excellent.
There's a reason we talk about Spielberg and Scorsese. It's not because of their beards, and their mustaches. It's
Although
because
you do have a pretty good beard going, I got to say.
They both have, and it's more to do with, or I guess I do, yeah. They have better ones though, and more importantly, they have skill. They have craft. They understand what they're doing very, very keenly when you study what they shoot. And that's what we focus on. That's why we break down so many of their films in this workshop and really say, do you understand why Spielberg pulled the camera in this way to move through time and space and through story? And do you understand why, in this case, Scorsese did not move the camera at all to make you feel like you were trapped in this scene?
Once again, Vincent, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your 60-city tour on this directing motion.
No, not that bad. 32.
32-city tour.
60
on the,
and I'd be a dead man.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, it's the first half of your 60-city tour. This 32-city tour, directing motion, bringing tips, bringing your expert analysis of your 100 favorite DVDs and the motion of the camera to our friends who are making films professionally. Once again, our friends in Florida can participate in Vincent Laforet's directing motion tour on July 1st at the Broward Convention Center. And ladies and gentlemen, Vincent Laforet, thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
All right.